Time now for Voices of the Future, the show that amplifies the perspectives of the next generation of Republican leaders, young professionals, students, and policymakers who champion the values of limited government, free enterprise, and individual liberty. From grassroots activism to tech-driven policy debates, this program is your front row seat to the ideas shaping a freer, stronger America. Now, your host for Voices of the Future, Ardis Jackson.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Voices of the Future. This is Ardis Jackson here. I'm back with another episode here. Glad to be sharing my opinions here, representing the Silicon Valley Young Republicans. Before I get into that, though, I do want to just say that I am very proud of our president for securing the deal between Israel and Hamas and making sure that the hostages are returned to their families. I know that they've been through a whole lot of pain and suffering without their loved ones, and I'm just glad to see that our president is making America part of the world process and leading with strength through peace. And the results of that has been, Hamas giving these hostages back and an end to this conflict that's been happening in Israel. The news came out this morning, so hot off the presses. So I'm really happy for that. And I'm proud of our commander-in-chief and his team for getting that done. So kudos to Trump and his team and all the people who helped make that deal possible. So moving along, today's episode, we're going to focus on the California economy. And I think a lot of us can recognize the California economy. Just hearing that word, you already know, high gas prices, cost of living is extremely high. And, I think it's something that's affecting everybody. And we Republicans would like to provide solutions. We have several candidates of our own running for governor, and we have what we believe is the best solutions. And today I'm just going to talk a little bit about what those solutions could be. I believe everyone knows about the many problems that California is facing. We all know that it's, not in the best shape that our state could be in right now. And I've moved here over 10 years ago, and, I came here for the dream. I came here for the different economies that could get my career off the ground. It was always like that state where you could come to get your dreams achieved. And so one of the things that's happened over the years is just policies that have been going in the opposite direction. And I just want to highlight what some of those problems are, and then we'll discuss what the solutions can be. So, of course, one of the leading causes of that we Republicans see that's contributing to the state of California and its decline that we see is the high taxes and the cost of living. The cost of living affects everything from utilities, housing, gas, even just eating now, with our restaurants being forced to have a $20 minimum wage. That's putting a lot of restaurants out of business. We can all see that is leading to a decline in California's economy and a decline in consumer confidence here. But we can reverse that by making California open to free markets again, making it where, the best business can be successful, leading by innovation. That's what championed California as a state where innovation was done. So we need to just get back to leading through innovation and letting the markets decide, the prices and the successes and failures of our businesses. But through that, we'll be able to have consumers make their choices, and they can help keep prices down while also giving businesses the opportunity to innovate. And leading into that, we need to relax our regulations here in California. A lot of our regulations are making it really hard for businesses to thrive here. And we Republicans would like to see a loosening of that regulation so that, again, companies can focus on hiring the best talent and provide innovation for the economies and provide jobs. In return, that makes it easier, that makes it better for California's economy. So we would like to see the loosening of regulations, and that's not just business, but like housing, the regulation to build homes. It's just we would loosen a lot of those regulations. Also, we would like to have better energy policies. So we would like to have investment in gas and, driving down the cost of energy and not spending wasteful money on energy projects that's not really yielding any results. We believe that, tackling energy is the best way for any economy, as our president highlighted, and we would like to implement that policy here in the state of California. Because if we bring the cost of gas and energy down, then it has a ripple effect throughout the state, which is a good boost for the economy of California. So we also would like to see that we have large budgets. We would like to spend our money better here in California. We would like to see our money be spent more towards public safety, education, traffic, and loosening of regulations and lowering taxes. We believe that will and then, of course, supporting the free markets for our businesses, making it easier for entrepreneurs to get their businesses off the ground. We believe doing that will make California a cradle of innovation, and it will boost its economy. According to research, California is the 5th largest economy in the world, and we feel like California could be even better by allowing its business community to flourish and having controllable spending. And so, that leads me into the next phase, public safety and crime. As you know, our president is trying to use the National Guard and boost law enforcement into communities where there's high crime. And we believe that, having more law enforcement policies in California will make it safer for our communities. We also would like to see a tampering down of progressive policies that are favoring people who do crimes and not punishing people fully for those who do that, which inspire more crime. We've had some pretty successful, pushback from residents in throughout the state, and removing a district attorney and a mayor who was not treating the crime problem as the problem it was. We Republicans would like to see an increase in hiring of law enforcement. We would like to see more support of our law enforcement. We would also like to see harsher penalties for people who, especially for repeat offenders. And we would like to see the communities get more involved in getting closer to our law enforcement so that they feel safer to report crimes to our law enforcement, and that our law enforcement feel respected and valued in the communities in which they serve, and the community can trust the police and law enforcement in those communities. And I think that instead of creating division between the communities and law enforcement, we should be seeking to bring those two sides together. So we would like to see more spending towards boosting law enforcement. We'd also like to see people getting, actually punished for things that they do. So We also have a redistricting issue here in California. It's Prop 50 that's going to be on the ballot in November. We Republicans are urging voters to vote no on that because we want to keep that process in the hands of the voters. We don't want politicians taking over that. And we think that's an unfair way to, elections. That's not fair elections. So we would like to see more of a pushback on, against Prop 50. So these are things that we're trying to work to push towards in California. And also, we would like to make sure that the state of California is more cooperative with immigration enforcement. We see too much throughout the state of California that our governor and our local cities and stuff and counties that are pretty much pushing back against immigration enforcement and not really cooperating with immigration enforcement. We Republicans see a lot of benefit in enforcing immigration enforcement because that goes hand in hand with keeping our communities safe. It increases public safety in our communities, and it also helps us enforce our nation laws. And the state of California could be more cooperative in that, while also acknowledging the human element of it as well. I believe California, through its congressional offices, should be more, vocal and supportive of pushing forward bills that will make it easier to amend our immigration system, to amend our legal path to citizenship, because that's what we Republicans want. We want people to come into the country legally, and we want people to contribute to the state of California, being here legally. And we understand that the immigrant community has contributed quite a bit for the agriculture sector, and other areas as well, including labor. But we believe that should be done legally. And so that is something that we would like to have California. We believe a Republican governor would be more cooperative with our president and enforcing immigration enforcement and keeping our community safe, and get rid of wasteful spending and focus on things like public safety, improving our education, and and basically supporting keeping communities safe and clean and ending homelessness here in California. So we Republicans would like to see more of a aggressive tactic on that. We believe that the homeless situation can be solved through, not only providing more affordable housing, but we also believe that we should make it where those who are homeless are given options to be housed, and for those who are, refusing housing, shouldn't just be allowed to set up tents anywhere they like, and they should be more observing of the implications that they're bringing to the communities in which they're living. We just want more accountability when it comes to the homeless population, and we don't want more encouragement of people to be homeless. We don't want our governments to be encouraging people to camp out in harsh conditions. We want to bring those people into the fold, give these people jobs, and we want them to contribute to our economy. So we as Republicans, we're trying to make California better. We're trying to make California more the best that it can be. We believe there's greater potential in California. And we believe our current local officials are not really living up to that promise. I love California. I would like to continue to live here. I have a son now. Me and my wife have a son, and we would like to continue to raise him here. We just think that the current direction under Democratic control is not making California be the best that it can be. And, so we Republicans are getting out and we're trying to spread the word to support our Republican candidates for governorship and local offices as well throughout the legislature and throughout our local counties and cities. Because we believe that there is more potential in California. And so we're trying to make it easier for people to want to live here. We don't want people fleeing California because that's kind of a consequence of what's happening when you have all of these negative policies. That's just making it unlivable here in California. So, we would like to just make California greater again, and we would also like to make California live up to the promise that it has been for decades. And I would like to continue to live here, and so would others. And a lot of us younger people are trying to get by with rising housing costs, and we want to be part of that dream of being able to buy homes, and send our children to schools here. And we believe that, it's time for a different direction. And so the California economy, in my opinion, is not the best that it can be right now. But we Republicans are very hopeful. We're very inspired, and we're ready to lead and make this state greater for everyone here. And if you are having strong business and you're encouraging more entrepreneurs, you're having more better growth with jobs being created, that helps the state of California. If we're enforcing immigration enforcement and we're making it easier for people to be working here and living here legally, then they can all contribute to this great state. And also, if we are, holding people accountable when they are a danger to our communities. But we also, can also balance criminal justice reform when we see that is needed as well, and treat people with compassion. But we also need to champion accountability. So if we do these things and go in this direction, we believe that California will be a lot better. And we believe with a Republican governor, it will be a better place for all of us. And so I will say that in my closing end here, that I would like to, say these are my personal goals or my personal wish list for California. I would want to have California, me personally, move away from this whole focus and obsession with climate change. We understand that the climate is, changing and everything, but, I believe that, we're focusing so much on that we're not really paying attention to, real issues that's facing us, taxpayers here in California. And we would like to also have our officials held. I would like to have our officials held accountable for the actions that they're doing. Like our governor, I would like, better forest management. I would like to have people who are, being corrupt and, not enforcing the laws that are supposed to be enforced and are contributing to the decline of this state. I would like them to be held accountable. I would like to not see, me personally, California Highway Patrol being used as Secret Service protection for our former vice president. I think that, again, that's just showing that, that's wasteful spending and wasteful resources. We could be using them patrolmen for enforcing highway and traffic enforcement and keeping our highways and keeping our state better in other areas. We think that's a better way to use them. And I don't think that's a responsible way to govern or to use our law enforcement. So I also would like California, me personally, as a parent now, I would like California to stop trying to tell us parents how to raise our kids in our public schools. I would like to see a reduction of, this woke trend going on where they're trying to force, woke ideology onto our children. I just want our children to be innocent while they're children and to enjoy the life that they're having right now and not have to be having this stuff force fed on them all the time. So me as a parent, I would like, the state of California to clean up its its public school practices. It's just getting out of control. And again, if we turn our attention back to getting the best grades, having our students, be the best in math, English, and science, I believe we can produce the best students throughout our state, and we can make our nation proud. And we don't need a place like that for that type of ideology to be being crammed on them. Kids should just be kids, and they shouldn't have to be forced to grow up before they have to. In California, too, I would like to see the end of men and women's sports. I just don't think that's a good look for our state, and it's not really good for the economy when you have teams quitting games because they're not going to compete. An all-female team is not going to compete against someone who's a biological male, and so these are just some of my wish lists of that I would like California to change. And I'm very confident that our Republican candidates that's running for office will improve on those. And I think that if we wake up as voters and we get more involved and listen to what's going on in our communities, I think we can save our state from the direction it's going. Often too much, some of us, don't want to really be, part of the political process. We see it as toxic. We see it as something that's divisive, which, in some extent it is, but also it's a way for us to have more civic engagement, for us to be part of and have our voices heard on what's going on throughout our state. And we should be, as people who live here, we should be proud of our state. And if things are not working for us and our politicians are not working for us, the voters, then we need to have them held accountable. So, I just encourage more of our younger people who may watch this show to, definitely get more engaged in politics. But I would also caution that we should get engaged in politics in a peaceful way. We shouldn't be promoting violence. We shouldn't be, trying to be extreme with trying to force our, views on everyone else. And I think, more engagement peacefully and stuff, or participation in getting in government will allow us all to feel like we're part of the solution. And here in California, we want to have more solutions, and we want our voters to be part of that solution, and we want our elected officials to be part of the solution. So in closing, I will say that California can be the best that it can be. We want what's best for California. These are just some of the issues that we see, some of the solutions that we have for the state of California. And we think that if we, the people, continue to hold our officials accountable, and we also be more involved in our state, we can make this a better place for not only us, but our future generations. And, we're all in this together. It's never too late to change our state. It's never too late to change our country. And so I will look forward to seeing you guys again on our next episode. I appreciate the honor that I'm being given to speak to you guys on this platform. And, I'm always seeking engagement with people and discussions about what's going on throughout our state. Again, I'm Artis Jackson. I am part of the Silicon Valley Young Republicans, and we are trying to make our state a better place for all of us. Again, thank you for your time. Stay safe out there, and I'll see you guys next week on our next episode. Thank you.
You've been listening to Voices of the Future with Artis Jackson, a presentation of the Silicon Valley Young Republicans. For comments and suggestions or to get involved, email svyr.gop@gmail.com. That's svyr.gop@gmail.com.